Hello everyone, I am E7. Today I'm gonna show you how you can add eye posing for any model into Garrys Mod. This tutorial works on any source engine game such as Left 4 Dead 2, Garrys Mod and all that. For this tutorial I didn't intend to make this tutorial, but because I helped a friend of mine, which I met him, I thought a video tutorial should be also enough so it can be more easier than showing screenshots, showing text and all that. So I'm also going to do this for a friend of mine, and he actually sent me a model that he's trying to port into Left 4 Dead 2, and honestly I didn't have the time to see the model in Blender. Okay, so this is Maverick model. I have no idea if I saw this one before, but the face is similar to one of those Left 4 Dead model. Not sure who he is because I never played the game. Alright, so we have Maverick, James Bond and Sky. I'm gonna hide Sky and I'm gonna go with Maverick this time since he is our victim, and we open the QC file. Alright, now this is the QC file because this is I believe from Left 4 Dead 2 game. So I'm gonna delete this and we're gonna type it manually. So we press tab to go 8 spaces. Now we're gonna type eyeball space in quotes, let's say right eye as an example. You can type whatever the name, just keep it similar for the right eye and left eye. Okay, we're gonna start with the right eye, so we call this right eye in quotes, space in quotes, and this is where the eyes are parented to the bone. So in the model here, the eyes, it doesn't have its own bone, but it's following the head bone. And some of the models, such as James Bond itself, do have a bone for the eye, but that doesn't affect anything. So I think it will be alright for now. I'm gonna go back with Maverick. So we're gonna go into pose mode for Maverick skeleton. We're gonna go into pose mode, and we can right click on the bone, and because we did that, we're gonna check the name of the bone. So it's called valve biped dot bip 01 underscore head 1. So we're gonna copy that because that's the eye mesh is following the bone. We're gonna copy that and we're gonna paste it here, or you can type it manually. Then close the quotes and hit space. Now we're gonna put 3 zeros, so after the space, 0 space 0 space 0. Now these are the X and Y and Z values. I'm gonna talk about this later, but for now let's continue. Now we press space and we put in quotes the name of the material that's gonna use before the eyeball. Now we go back here into Blender and we're gonna click on the mesh, right click on the mesh and press tab to go into edit mode. Now to the material tab here, we'll click on it, and as you can see we have eyeball material, and this is how the eyeball looks. It's actually half a mesh, but that's right, it's not a problem. So I'm gonna actually name this because I have 2 copies here. I'm gonna call this left. Alright, now we have eyeball right material for the right eye mesh for his right eye, and we have left eyeball mesh for his left eye. Now we're gonna start with the right side of the eyeball, like his right side. We're gonna start with his right eyeball. So we copy that material name and we're gonna paste it here. So in quotes, after that quote in the opening, we paste that. We're gonna close the quotes, then we're gonna press space and hit 1, then space, then 4, then space, then again in quotes iris unused, then close the quotes, then space and put here 0.60. Now we can copy this and paste it here and change the second line from right to left. So we have the first one here is right eyeball, and this one here we have the left eyeball. So I'm gonna change also the material name, and in here I'm gonna put -4. You must make sure you exported the model before you drop that QC file into Crowbar and compile it. Now I'm gonna export this. I'm actually gonna export it in another folder so I don't have an overwrite for it. So I'm gonna put it on the cube. Okay, now we press save, and then we right click and copy. I'm gonna put it here so I don't have to overwrite. Now we're gonna go back to Blender, export that as SMD as for now. Now I'm gonna export this one here, and it's called Maverick. Alright, after we export the model, we're gonna go where did we export the SMD file, and we're gonna drop that QC file into Crowbar and compile it. Because I don't have Left 4 Dead 2, but it can also work on Gmod and Source Filmmaker, because as I said before, Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead and Garrys Mod all are the same source engine, but do have changes with the system. So I'm gonna compile it. Okay, now I forgot that I noticed something, so I'm just gonna do this real quick. Alright, after we compile the model, now we can open it with Half-Life Model Viewer. File, load model, compiled model, survivors. My mouse is slow. Survivors mechanic. And here we go. Oh, I actually never seen this one before, but that's alright. We're gonna need the texture of the eye and the VMT. So the VMT for the eye called eyeball right and eyeball left, but the texture can be anything. Alright, now this is the eyeball texture. This part should be like the transparency should be very low, but I'm gonna extract that. I'm gonna export that as JPEG, and I'm gonna edit that real quick. Alright, now after I do that, I'm gonna open it with, you can either open it with Photoshop or Paint.net. Alright, we have loaded the eyeball texture. Now we're gonna double click on this here, and we're gonna put this maybe around 10, either 30, 10. I'm gonna put it on 1 because I want to make it fully visible, so it's gonna show fully visible in the game. I'm gonna press OK. After I don't put it on 0, just keep it on 1, like around 30 to 10%, but I'm gonna keep it on 1. So I'm gonna press OK. After that, I'm gonna go to File, Save As, and for that I'm gonna export it, save it as PNG because we need it transparented. We press Save, and don't mess around this. Just if this is not checked on auto detect, just take it on this and then press OK. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, now we have this here. As you can see, it's not very visible, but don't worry about that because we need that in the game. So we gonna open it with VTF edit, and if we go, if you notice here, it says 8-bit alpha, and if we go to view and mask, then it's very not visible. Now we uncheck that. Now we're gonna save this as, I'm gonna save it as eyeball texture. Alright, now to get the VMT file, press tools and create VMT. Now we press here, we don't need to make it translucent. Then we change the shader to light map generic to vertex LED generic. We're gonna create the VMT and call the VMT as it's renamed to the eyeball right and eyeball left. Now we're gonna do that really quick. Just gonna make sure I did not put oh yeah, I did put underscore. That's fine. Gonna create as, again, eyeball left. Now we go into Half-Life malware, we press on refresh. Now that's not what we want, so what we're gonna do is gonna go with the VMT file and we're gonna edit that. So to do that, we're gonna go here. Where did we save the eyeball? Right. And I'm gonna leave a link in the description to have the required textures and the VMT. So I'm gonna go here. I left a folder here. I'm gonna actually add that. Now we have Gmod plus Half-Life content, and we have also TF2 content. I'm gonna go with the Gmod and Half-Life. So I'm gonna open one of the Valve material, the VMT file. So I'm gonna go with up right eyeball. Alright, so this is what we need. We need the eye refract and we need all of these. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy these. I'm gonna paste it into here. So after we did that, before we save, we need to get some requirements. So in here it says iris. So what is this? What does this mean? This is where the texture that we said for the eyeball. So we're gonna grab that, and instead I'm gonna go here, left click here in this area, and I'm gonna press here, then I'm gonna put backslash and type the name of the texture. It's called eyeball texture. So I press on my down arrow key so I can highlight that or mark it. Then I'm gonna copy from here, because after the CD material we have the models and all that. So I'm gonna copy this until the very end. You can actually include the VTF, but it's your call. So I'm gonna highlight from here. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna highlight from here. God damn it, my mouse. We're gonna right click on copy, and we're gonna go back to the VMT file and we're gonna paste this. Alright, now we need the ambient ochre texture. Now as I understand, these are for the corners of the eyes. I'm not gonna explain it because I still have no idea how to make a texture for that. Now I'm gonna include the eye extra from the Half-Life content. Okay, so this is the okay, so this is the eye extra. Now we're gonna copy and we're gonna put it here, and what we're gonna do, actually we can only copy the folder path and we're gonna paste it instead of the engine. So paste, and then go back here. Then we need the eye reflection cube map and eye cornea. So I saved two files here. The difference is one of them is the same, but I'm not sure what exactly. So I'm gonna copy this instead. I'm gonna paste it here, and along with the eye cornea. Now we're gonna go to the VMT. We're gonna do the same as we did for the ambient occult texture. We're gonna just put the folder path. We're gonna paste it here. We're gonna paste it right here. Alright, now we're gonna paste it here. Alright, now we press file and save. Now we go into Half-Life model viewer. We're gonna refresh. There is a pink texture, so I think we missed something. Oh yeah, I did not rename this, sorry. Okay, now we are good to go. Yes. Alright, as you can see, it's moving. You can't actually notice that until you get close or far away from the model. Now, to see if the eyeball are actually following, what I actually do is I go to options and go into center view, and I hold shift and hold mouse click and move my mouse either up and down to keep it straight on the model. I try to, and I would like to put it here so I see if the eyes can follow me or not. Now I'm gonna leave the left eye part later because we're gonna deal with that after we deal with the right eyeball, because it's gonna be very easy. Now this here doesn't show correctly because we have not set values in the QC file for the eyeball. So to find those values, we have the X and Y and Z. So we need to start to find the X and the Z value based on the eyeball mesh and how it's made. Now if I go inside and see how the eyeball mesh has been made, as you can see, it's almost half a mesh eyeball. To find the X and Z value, we're gonna go here and we're gonna click on the very center of the eye, and then we're gonna press N on the keyboard, and we have the transform. This is the vertex, so this is a dot vertex where it should be in the position. So we're gonna copy the X value. Remember, this is for the right eyeball, and we're gonna paste it here, and then we're gonna copy the Z value, and we're gonna paste it here. Now to find the Y value, it's gonna be located in the very center of the eyeball mesh. So to find that, based on how the mesh of the eyeball is made, I'm gonna use the material here to have more assist on help. So I'm gonna go into wireframe mode by pressing Z on my keyboard. I'm gonna go press on numpad 7 to go up. Based on how is the mesh for the eyeball made, do you see this little white dot here? This is where we located the X and the Z value. Now to locate the Y value, it's gonna be around somewhere here. So based on my view here and based on the mesh of the eyeball, we're gonna go on how lines we're gonna pick, like which line we're gonna pick. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, let's say 9.5. all right, now a half because this is I'm gonna ignore this. So we have 9 lines and we're gonna pick one of the lines. So what I would like to do is I try to get rid of these here too, and one from here, then another one from here, and another one from here, and then the last part is here. So we have this one here and as you can see, there's the icon. It's like an icon to show where's the value point. So because that is in the middle, I'm gonna see here there's the Y value. I'm gonna copy it right now after we select it. If you want, you can, after you select those vertices, you can press E, then press S to scale it down, and then after that you can press W, sorry, you can press W, and we're gonna hit merge, and then merge in the center, and we have this vert here, as I said, in the middle. Then we're gonna copy this Y value. I'm gonna paste it in the QC file. Now after we're done, we're gonna save this, and we're gonna check after we compile how the model looks. Now we're gonna go back into Half-Life model viewer, press file and refresh, or you can press F5. Alright, there we go. We have the eye. It's a little bit bigger. We can resize it. So go back in the QC file, and we're gonna put this like 45, no, 50. We're gonna save and recompile, refresh. Okay, it's now even smaller, which is good, and as we need it. As you can see, the eyeball is following the camera, which is me, where I go. Even if I go to the corners right here, it's actually following me. Now after we're done with that, we can go and copy these values here without the minus, because the right will be minus for the X value, and for the left eye it's gonna be it's like positive and negative. For the right eye it's gonna be negative, and for the left eye it's gonna be positive. So we paste that here, but before you do that, make sure that if the mesh was on the same line here, as you can see when I click here, as you can notice here, the X value is changing. So what I can usually do is I'm just gonna press here and change. So copy, after I press here, copy the X value and the Z value and paste it here. So I'm gonna copy and paste it. No need for the Y value, because we have located both for the eyes. So we press here, copy. Now before we compile, we're gonna go back to the VMT, which we made the requirements for the right eye, and what we can do, we're gonna save this again and call it eyeball left, because that's what it's renamed in the model. As you can see here, eyeball left. So we're gonna go back, eyeball underscore left. Now we can recompile. We go back to Half-Life model viewer and press file, refresh, and there you go. We have the model. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I did not change that, which is it's okay if you didn't change that, but make sure it's changed after what you did. Recompiled. Alright, now this is how the model looks with the eyes. Okay, now we just want to move here. Now we move the camera here to make sure if the eyes are following us correctly, and it's very good when we should not worry about that. Now this is how we find the values for the eyeball mesh to add the eye posing. Now this is in Gmod, but in Gmod, when you save the VMT file, you need to make sure that ray trace sphere is set to 0 and not 1. If you're porting to Left 4 Dead 2, if you're porting the model for Left 4 Dead 2 for the player model, you're gonna definitely need this command enabled. So I'm gonna actually keep it to 1 because I'm not gonna load it into Garrys Mod. I was thinking I'm gonna load it to Left 4 Dead, but I remember I don't have the game. So now we're not done yet, because we need to add two things. We need to add the attachment for the eyes, like where are they located, and we're gonna add flex controller. Now the flex controller for the eyes are gonna only work if the attachment command was in there. So we're gonna go into the QC file, and we're gonna add here after the mouth. You can press enter twice, just make sure you make a space. Now we press tab, then type flex controller. Now we're gonna put the name of the controller, which is called eyes. Now we're gonna put the range, and we're gonna type 0, but instead of 0 we're gonna put -45, and we're gonna press space, then type 45, then press space, and in here we're gonna type eyes underscore up down. We can copy and paste it here in the same. Sorry, my mouse isn't functional right now. Copy and paste. Now we're gonna do is I'm gonna change this one here into right left. Now we're gonna save this, and then we're gonna scroll down here, and where's the attachment here? Now we're gonna press here, I'm gonna type dollar attachment space in quotes. The name of the attachment is gonna be called eyes because we need that search engine can read it. Close the quotes and press space, and in quotes type the bone that the eyeball mesh is forming. So again, valve biped dot pip 01 underscore head 1. Now to find the coordinates is very easy. What you're gonna do is either copy one of these values here. I'm gonna go with the right eye, and I'm gonna paste it here. Right click and paste, but instead now what we're gonna do is gonna put 0 here instead, and then we're gonna put 0 here instead, and we're gonna press space and type absolute. So absolute is gonna automatically find the rotation and the X and Y Z values for the rotation. After that we're gonna click on file, save and recompile. File, refresh. Alright, now as you can see we have the eye attachment here it's not perfectly in the middle, but it should be in the middle, don't worry. Now if we go to the flex tab, and as you can see there's two flexes. So we have the eyes. If I move this up and down, sorry, my mouse is not functional, so I'm gonna use this. If I move this up and down, the eyes are moving up and down. Very good. And if I go left and right, oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna press here and rename it. File, save as, recompile. After that, refresh. Now we move left to right, and there we go. We have left and right. And that's how you add the eye posing for the model. Big thanks to Bursts for sending the clip of Maverick model working in Left 4 Dead 2 game. As you can see, the eyes are following the player wherever it goes without any issues. Credits to Auditor for porting the model to Garrys Mod, and Bursts for porting the model into Left 4 Dead 2. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try to reply and answer them. I will see you next time. Bye bye.